You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. The Municipal Band will host its annual children's concert on Wednesday night, July 23rd, at the Christian County Historical Society. The free show starts at 7 p.m., and all children in attendance will receive a goodie bag and even get the chance to take part in the performance. As part of this season's Play the Music Forward campaign, the band is highlighting guest performers who are alumni of the Municipal Band and Taylorville High School. This week's theme is Municipal Band Families. Featured moments include Emily Jones performing an oboe solo, while her father, Dennis Jones, conducts, a vocal duet from Jan Phillips and her daughter, Denise Prosser, and a Disney selection played by 3 generations of the Hohenstein family. The concert will also include crowd favorites like the Star Wars main theme, We Don't Talk About Bruno, Rock Around the Clock, selections from Hamilton and Moana, and patriotic classics like America the Beautiful. Next week's concert on July 30th will be the final show of the 2025 season. You can follow the Taylorville Municipal Band on Facebook for additional updates. Taylorville Junior High School's new building principal is officially now on the job. Stiles Smith has taken over the role this summer. His background in education work has brought him once already through the Taylorville School District, as well as in Pana. He hopes to cultivate a school community that students, staff, and families are proud to be a part of. Central and Southern Illinois has been Smith's home for nearly his entire life, and after years in the classroom, he decided to make the move into administration.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Southern Illinois. I'm a Centralia native. Graduated from there in 2008. Got my undergraduate degree at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. And when I was finishing up there, I was just kind of applying at different places in the state. Back then it was hard finding teaching jobs.
Different.
And Taylorville had an opening. I came in, I interviewed. I was able to get that job as my first teaching job. So I started here in Taylorville in 2012. Yeah, taught in Taylorville for 11 years. I loved my, first stint here. I taught high school English. And I taught everything from freshmen to seniors, creative writing, a few different classes. So I had a great experience teaching here. But I eventually got to the point where, I was ready to make that next step, and I was ready to make the move into administration.
Smith hopes his work will support not only students, but also staff. He believes that by supporting staff, they in turn will be able to create a better environment for the students themselves.
I think when you can form those relationships with staff members, and that's what I'm trying to do early on. I've started having some meetings with staff members and just, learning about them and finding out what they like, what they think could be better. I want to form those positive relationships with our staff members so that they come to work happy. They're excited to be in the classroom. And I think that just goes right down to the students from there. Right now I am over at the unit office. If you could come over, we can chat, 15, 20 minutes. And I've gotten a really good response so far. So I've gotten to meet with a lot of staff members. I think I've learned a lot of great things about them and just, what makes them tick and, what's important to them. But also what, could be improved.
Smith also says that he hopes to integrate himself into the community and be seen not just as an administrator, but also a neighbor.
I don't just want to go to the junior high and do my job and go home. And that's, we want to be visible in the community. We've lived in this, well, Whitney, my wife, she's from Taylorville. I'm not, I've been in the community now for 13 years, but, we want to be a visible part of the community and we want to get out. We want to see people. I want to see parents. I want to see community members and just, we want to be integrated into the community. Yeah, I think just attending community events. I want to get out there. We're definitely planning on. Actually, my wife just sent me something last night about getting wristbands for the kids for the fair and making sure that we get out to the fair. I love Chili Fest. It's one of my favorite things every year. I love being at Chili Fest. I've got to go through and taste the chili verde every year. But yeah, just making sure that we are present at all those events and we're visible and we're able to just see people.
Within the school, one focus for Smith is developing, maintaining, and being present at extracurriculars as well. He cites his previous involvement with these activities from his spell as a teacher.
Being from Centralia, I grew up in a big basketball community. Centralia, they're the winningest high school basketball team in the nation. So I was part of that growing up. And so when I came over to Taylorville, I got to be the JV basketball coach for 3 years under Kerry McVickers, who's a Hall of Fame basketball coach. One of the most enthusiastic guys that you'll ever meet in your life. He was the type of coach that kids would just run through a brick wall for. And then I transitioned from there to coaching under Ryan Brown, who, again, super enthusiastic. Kids work hard for him. He gets the most out of his guys. So I've always been a basketball guy. I love baseball, huge Cardinals fan. And so that's another thing that I'm excited about, getting over here to the junior high, just being present at basketball games, at volleyball games, baseball, softball, getting in there with the extracurriculars, going to choir concerts, band concerts, being part of that as well.
More information on the Taylorville Junior High School is available at tjhs.tcusd3.org. Style Smith appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show as part of our monthly Taylorville Schools Good News segment. The Taylorville Kiwanis Club heard from the general manager for the McLean Food Service Distribution Center at their Tuesday noon meeting at the Moose Lodge. Lou Johnson has been the general manager of the Taylorville Center for some 12 years and has been in the distribution industry even longer. Johnson told Kiwanis members that he manages both the Taylorville plant and an Iowa plant. Both deliver all operating supplies for a host of restaurant chains, including Denny's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Checkers, and Hardee's. Johnson added the Taylorville plant has some 175,000 square feet and started in Taylorville in 1989. It serves about 550 restaurants in 16 different states with 40 semi-drivers, 35 warehouse personnel, and 10 supervisory personnel. Many of those employees have been at the Taylorville Center for many years, with several promoted from the warehouse to then being drivers.
Proud of our team. We've got good people, even though we still need, 4 or 5 always turning in and out. But we've got a lot of long-term people. My managers have been around for 20. In fact, customer service, Gal, has been around for 30 plus years. Drivers that have been there for over 20 years. Joe Klebus, anybody knows Joe. He says he won the lottery when he started working there, 27 years ago. And so very proud of the team and the results that they have.
McLean Distribution has centers across the country and is owned by Berkshire Hathaway. Johnson told Kiwanis members the parent company recently upgraded the Taylorville facility in the past few months, including a new HVAC system. Johnson expressed pride for his employees as the Taylorville Distribution Center was recently recognized as the Distributor of the Year by their customers. The Taylorville Kiwanis Club reminds the public to stop by the front parking lot of the Miller Media Group studios at 918 East Park this Saturday from 9 a.m. to noon. You can do so with non-perishable food and monetary donations. Those donations will be given to the Taylorville Food Pantry to help feed children and youth in the community. The Taylorville Kiwanis Club is part of a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Weekly meetings are held Tuesdays at noon at the Taylorville Moose Lodge. For information on the club, go to TaylorvilleKiwanis.com. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news. It's brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. When you become a member of TCCU, you become an owner and have access to our great loan rates, earn great dividends on our deposit accounts, have access to our full range of financial products, and will receive personal attention from people you know. Membership is open to anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, and Shelby County. We are conveniently located in Taylorville, Hillsboro, Litchfield, and Pana. You can also visit us online at www.tccu.org. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
The Shelby County 4-H Fair continued for a second of 3 days as young farmers showed off their hard work over the last year. Competitions involving livestock and other projects took place throughout the grounds as attendees of all ages were treated to fun activities and a variety of food and beverage offerings. Tessa Richardson was among the many 4-H members in the beef contests. Her entries contribute to a rich diversity of cattle, which will be featured over the week.
Uh, so I show tomorrow, and I am showing 2 crossbred cows. One is a steer, one is a heifer, and that's it.
Okay, yeah. How are they different for those who maybe aren't familiar with the breeds?
It's just basically, so my steer is crossbred with an Angus, which is a beef cow, and a dairy calf Holstein. I mean, it's just a cross of different breeds mixed together.
Yeah, and then how does are there any differences in terms of like how you take care of them, what kind of needs they have, that sort of thing?
Not really. It's just the same as any other calf, you know. You feed them, you wash them, you give them hay, and they're happy.
Alexandria Hampton is presenting both beef and poultry. She says she has built a close relationship with her animals, which makes a difference on the fair stage.
Beef, like it's really good because you get to make a connection with them as you grow. And poultry, it's basically the same. Like you grow with them and you show them how to act in shows.
What are the steps that it takes to kind of show them how to act, how to behave, and kind of train them? Talk about that.
So like first, like when you get to them, when you first start to work with them, you like try to get the halters on and brush them and like use a show stick on them, and then like as you get more closer to the fair, you start to wash them and use soap to wash them and stuff like that. And then with poultry, you just start to hold them more and like practice showing them.
Do they like being brushed and washed, or is it hard to keep them under control?
Sometimes, like my cow this year did not like the water, but last year's, yeah, they have liked the water.
Parker Wise has entered both beef and swine. A key component of his preparation is giving his animals enough exercise to bring them in at the optimal weight.
Well, so it usually starts whenever we get the pigs for the swine in the spring, and it just takes a lot of work every single day, working skin and hair, washing and walking to get them to the point we want them, and good feed, because if you don't have good feed, the animal's not going to end up how you want it. And then with my show heifer, I showed her last year as well, so now she's a senior yearling, a big heifer, and it's just been a lot of work putting her in a cooler, growing hair, and feeding her right. So usually we want to walk pigs once a day for about 15 minutes. One, just to keep them good exercise and in good shape, and two, just to whip train them. So when I'm walking pigs, in the show ring, they act right and they know what they're doing.
Elizabeth Hampton is among the participants to present projects not related to agriculture. Her projects are in cooking and creative writing, and she has enjoyed some success already.
So in cooking, I made focaccia bread this year, and I got reserve State Fair alternate on that. We did that on Saturday, so we get a little head start on that. And then in creative writing, I did a poem this year. And that gets judged on Wednesday after the cattle show.
Find out more about the Shelby County 4-H Fair on the Shelby County Farm Bureau Facebook page. Cruiser 98.3 WSVZ broadcast live from the second day of the Shelby County 4-H Fair on Tuesday evening. The Illinois Farm Families Coalition is looking for 2026 farm ambassadors. Illinois Farm Bureau Consumer Engagement Manager Gracie Pearson says applications will be accepted through September 8th at watchusgrow.org/ambassadors. The Illinois Farm Families Coalition includes the Illinois Beef Association, Illinois Corn, Illinois Farm Bureau, Illinois Pork Producers Association, and the Illinois Soybean Association and Midwest Dairy. A partnership between the Illinois State Police and Southern Illinois University Edwardsville is offering a real-world experience for the next generation of criminal justice students and aiding ISP special agents working to solve old homicide cases. The program has resulted in students working with the agents to review dozens of those cases. Since the program began, and SIU students have worked closely with ISP special agents to review dozens of cases. The work of the collaboration recently led to the identification of 3 women, all believed to be victims of a serial killer that was nearly 25 years ago. Ameren, Illinois is warning of drones as they are becoming more popular and more accessible, but they want to remind operators, especially youth, to know their surroundings. This will conclude the second portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by CNB Bank and Trust.
Simplify your finances with CNB's small business checking account. Start with just $200, no minimum balance, no monthly fee, and 150 free transactions each cycle. Enjoy digital banking, bill pay, a debit card, and e-statements. Plus, seamless QuickBooks uploads, all included. Keep your business organized, hassle-free, and in control so you can focus on growing, not banking. Visit your local CNB branch or call us today to open your small business checking account. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home.
This is Chad Sparks. When you lose a loved one, your choice for making final arrangements should be with the compassionate family at Sutton Memorial Homes. They know the death of a loved one is difficult. Austin and Evan at Sutton's and the entire staff have devoted themselves to loving and caring for those in their community in their time of need. You can trust Sutton Memorial Homes to assist your family in making final arrangements that will be a tribute to your loved one. Sutton Memorial Homes, caring is what they do best.
93-year-old John Paul, or Jack Sloan, of Taylorville, died July 11th. Funeral service was July 18th at St. Maurice Catholic Church in Morrisonville. Burial was held at St. Maurice Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. "52-year-old Tracy Leon Law of Taylorville died July 18th. Visitation is July 24th from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Graveside service will be July 25th at 10 a.m. at Awanaco Cemetery in Awanaco. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 84-year-old Donald R. Larcher of Jeiseyville died July 17th. Visitation is today, July 23rd, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. Funeral service will then be July 24th at 10:30 a.m. at Midland United Methodist Church in Kincaid. Interment will be at a later date in Rochester Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.